Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is enjoying their day. Please subscribe and like the video before continuing. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Victor's power move pushes Kane to target Jabot. The Young and the Restless spoilers document that Victor Newman, Eric Braeden, didn't need much time. Adam Newman, Mark Grossman, used Newman Media to drop a smear bomb on Kane Ashby, Billy Flynn, and Victor followed with an offer that was too bad to refuse. Get updates on the latest news about the Young and the Restless, straight to your inbox. We use your personal data for interest-based advertising, as outlined in our privacy notice. What is this? Victor used the cliched term, an offer too good to refuse, when providing Kane with a handwritten will. The supposed last testament indicated that a wealthy older woman once owned the chateau in the south of France that viewers became overly familiar with this summer. The gist of Victor's sucker punch is that Colin Atkinson, Tristan Rogers, conned the lady in question out of her fortune under an assumed name. Kane initially protested, saying that he'd used a fake name, Aristotle Dumas, as well. Viewers wondered why Flynn's character, whose current iteration provides rapid retorts, didn't tell Victor that his name is Phone 2. They also know that Kane Ashby's birth name was Ethan Atkinson. What is Christian Miller talking about? Victor didn't bring up his orphan past when threatening Kane's existence. Instead, the former Christian Miller made good on his promise to meet after happening upon Kane and Lily Winters, Crystal Khalil, at Crimson Lights. What is this? The conversation the often sour Victor intended to overhear included Lily telling Kane she couldn't trust him. The mustache used the crumb that didn't come from one of Sharon Newman's, Sharon Case, premium-priced sweet treats as an added shot when goading Kane into opening the will he presented to him. Christian Miller is Victor's birth name and also his motivation to continue living the good life he felt robbed of as a child. Kane's plan to return to Genoa City, Wisconsin, is a make-good effort to repair relationships with Lily and their children. But Victor is forcing him off track. Lily Winters needs to see the twins. Lily continues to try and distance herself from Kane, yet she keeps meeting with him. That's seemingly going to change because she intends to meet with their children, who live in different parts of the country. Lily wants to help calm their emotions after Kane was exposed as being Aristotle. So, viewers should anticipate seeing less of Lily in the coming weeks. Khalil has been seen using an oversized bag in recent episodes, which is a common technique soaps use for their cast members who are pregnant. However, there is no confirmation of Khalil being pregnant, so this is speculation. Pregnancies can be written into the show or covered because the writing staff has no current plans for the actor's character in that regard. Devoted daytime viewers also recall that Lily's medical history should prevent her from being able to have children, though anything is possible in the soap world. What is this? Kane Ashby works with Victor Newman. Kane wanted to take Newman Enterprises, along with GC's other legacy companies. He planned to succeed in business to prove himself a success and be worthy of Lily's love. His misguided approach was naive and also flawed. Kane convinced himself that he could handle or manage the major players in his former hometown. To date, Lily and Victor aren't charmed. Billy Abbott, Jason Thompson, is working with Kane but has relayed Arabesque's goal to his brother, Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman. Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford, claims to have Kane's back, but she's sure to smell a rat, named Victor, if Kane begins to follow Victor's lead to take down Jabot. This site is a leading source for everything linked to the Young and the Restless. Check back regularly for Y&R spoilers and news. Face screaming in fear the Young and the Restless shock. Victor's ruthless scheme forces Kane to take aim at Jabot. In the world of the Young and the Restless, nothing ever stays quiet for long, and fans know that whenever Victor Newman starts plotting, the ripple effects threaten to take down everyone in Genoa City. The mustache himself has always thrived on manipulation, power plays, and pulling strings behind the scenes, but this time his target isn't just his family or his rivals, it's Jabot. And the most shocking part of all is that Kane Ashby may be the pawn forced into action. Kane's history on Y&R has been filled with questionable choices, betrayals, and schemes that have left him isolated and desperate. He's tried to be a family man, a businessman, and even a loyal friend, but his shady past keeps pulling him back into dangerous territory. Now Victor sees Kane as the perfect weapon to use in his never-ending war against Jack Abbott and Jabot. This twist not only puts Kane's reputation on the line but also reignites one of the most iconic rivalries in soap opera history, Victor versus Jack. Victor Newman has always played the long game. While Jack Abbott has been focusing on keeping Jabot afloat amid constant boardroom drama and family tension, Victor has been quietly setting his sights on a new strategy. With Kyle Abbott distracted by personal issues, Billy spiraling in his usual self-destructive tendencies, and Diane struggling to maintain her image as a stable matriarch, Jabot has cracks in its foundation. Victor knows the best way to exploit a weakness is to find someone desperate enough to do the dirty work. Enter Kane Ashby, who has been trying to prove himself in Genoa City yet again after countless scandals. From faking identities to paternity messes to nearly losing everything over lies and betrayals, Kane is a man with nothing left to lose and everything to gain if he can climb back into power. The scheme starts with Victor dangling the one thing Kane can't resist, an opportunity for redemption. Victor knows Kane has always lived in the shadows of more powerful men. He's not Victor Newman, he's not Jack Abbott, and he's not even close to being the empire builder he once dreamed of being. But Victor also knows Kane's pride is a weak spot. All it takes is a whisper in Kane's ear, a promise of influence, and the lure of bringing down an Abbott legacy, and suddenly Kane finds himself teetering on the edge of betrayal. Fans watching this potential storyline unfold are buzzing because Kane targeting Jabot is both shocking and perfectly logical. Kane has a history with the Abbotts and knows how much it would shake Genoa City if he aligned himself with Victor. Of course, Victor's motives are layered. On the surface, he wants to hit Jabot where it hurts, undermining Jack and proving once again that no matter what the Abbotts build, Victor can tear it down. But on a deeper level, this could be Victor testing the loyalty of everyone around him. If Kane succeeds, Victor proves his power remains unmatched. If Kane fails, Victor still manages to sow discord within Jabot, weakening his enemies without ever lifting a finger himself. That's the genius of Victor Newman, he never plays a game he can't win. Kane, on the other hand, is entering dangerous territory. Jabot has always been the heart and soul of the Abbott family. For Kane to go after it would mean alienating himself from allies he might need later. It would also risk stirring up the wrath of not just Jack, but Ashley, Billy, Kyle, and even Diane, who all have a stake in keeping the company alive. The Abbotts are no strangers to betrayal, but the thought of Kane siding with Victor to tear down their empire is enough to create shockwaves through the whole canvas of the show. Will Kane have the stomach to go through with Victor's ruthless orders, or will his conscience catch up with him before it's too late? Another wrinkle in the storyline is how Lily Winters might react if Kane takes this path. Kane has always tried to prove himself worthy of Lily's respect, even after countless betrayals tore their relationship apart. If he aligns himself with Victor and targets Jabot, he risks losing any chance of repairing that bridge once and for all. Lily has made a name for herself as a strong, independent businesswoman, and she has no patience for men who fall back into schemes and lies. Seeing Kane once again tempted by Victor's manipulation would only reinforce her belief that Kane will never truly change. Could Lily step in to try to stop Kane, or will she turn her back on him forever, letting him spiral into self-destruction once again? Meanwhile, Jack Abbott will not sit quietly if he catches wind of Victor's plan. Jack and Victor's feud has been legendary for decades, and this is just the next chapter in their never-ending battle. Jack knows Victor will use anyone he can as a pawn, but the idea of Kane, someone Jack has occasionally trusted, turning against him would sting deeply. Fans can expect fiery confrontations, bitter accusations, and perhaps even a revenge scheme from Jack if Kane actually dares to carry out Victor's orders. Jack has fought hard to maintain Jabot as the Abbott family legacy, and he will not let Victor use Kane or anyone else to bring it down without a fight. the ripple effects don't stop there. Imagine how Devon would react to Kane once again getting caught up in shady business moves. Devon has always been skeptical of Kane, and any move to help Victor target Jabot would prove Devon's instincts right. This could cause friction not only in business but also within the extended family circles of Genoa City. If Kane loses the trust of Devon and Lily, he will find himself more isolated than ever, and that isolation could make him even more dangerous. Desperate men make reckless decisions, and Victor thrives on exploiting desperation. The beauty of this storyline lies in its unpredictability. Will Kane rise to the challenge and successfully infiltrate Jabot on Victor's behalf, or will his own guilt and past mistakes cause him to stumble? Will Victor cut ties with Kane the moment he no longer serves a purpose, leaving Kane ruined once again? Or will Kane surprise everyone by flipping the script, turning on Victor and siding with the Abbotts in a shocking double-cross? Any of these outcomes could provide explosive drama that fans crave. As the pieces fall into place, one thing is certain: Kane Ashby is stepping into the lion's den, and Victor Newman is the one holding the door open. Whether Kane survives the fallout or ends up crushed under the weight of Victor's ruthless scheme remains to be seen, but fans can't look away. This twist not only reintroduces Kane into high-stakes drama but also reinvigorates the legendary Victor vs. Jack rivalry in a fresh and unexpected way. In Genoa City, power is everything, loyalty is fleeting, and betrayal is always lurking just around the corner. Victor's power move is about to push Kane into a battle that could change the landscape of Y&R forever, and the only question left is, who will be left standing when the dust settles? Fire Y&R spoilers: Kane caught in Victor's game, will he destroy Jabot to save himself? The Young and the Restless has never shied away from twisting family loyalty, business battles, and personal betrayals into a storm of drama, and now another shocking twist may be on the horizon as Kane Ashby is drawn back into dangerous territory. After years of trying to rebuild his life, his reputation, and his relationships, Kane might once again find himself at the center of Genoa City chaos. This time, Victor Newman is the mastermind behind the trouble. Victor's relentless pursuit of dominance has always left wreckage behind, and Kane could be his next pawn. The question fans are asking is chilling: will Kane really target Jabot, betraying everyone he has tried to earn back, just to save himself from destruction? Victor Newman thrives on leverage, and he has made a career out of identifying weaknesses in others. For decades, he has gone after the Abbotts, tearing down Jabot in one way or another, never fully satisfied until Jack Abbott is humiliated. With Jabot already facing instability from family infighting, Victor sees an opening. Kane Ashby, a man who has always battled with his own identity and a desperate need to belong, could be the perfect tool in Victor's scheme. Kane is vulnerable. He has burned bridges, lost Lily, lost credibility, and barely held on to respect in Genoa City. Victor knows that a desperate man will do anything if it means survival. For Kane, this could mean aligning with Victor in an attempt to regain power, influence, and perhaps even the illusion of respectability. But aligning with Victor always comes at a cost. Victor doesn't make allies, he makes puppets. Kane would have to sacrifice his integrity, his family ties, and even his long-fought battle for redemption if he chooses to go down this path. Fans who have followed Kane's journey know he has always been torn between wanting to be better and falling back into old habits of lying, manipulating, and scheming. The temptation Victor offers, a chance to reinvent himself through power, might be too strong for Kane to resist. But it comes with the looming threat of destroying Jabot, a company that not only belongs to the Abbotts but also represents one of the most significant legacies in Genoa City. Imagine the fallout if Kane truly goes through with this. Jack Abbott, already weary from dealing with Billy's reckless decisions and Ashley's constant battles, would be blindsided to learn Kane was working against Jabot from the inside. Kyle would be furious, and Diane would take it as a personal attack on her attempts to stabilize the family business. Ashley might see it as proof that the Abbotts can never let their guard down. The ripple effects of Kane siding with Victor would cause shockwaves across Genoa City, igniting fiery confrontations and bitter betrayals. Kane's motivations also deserve a closer look. Why would he risk it all again? Because Kane has always struggled with belonging. He wants to prove that he is capable of standing on his own, not just as Lily's ex or someone else's employee, but as a force in business and society. Victor's offer provides him with exactly what he craves, an opportunity to matter again. But deep down, Kane knows this deal with the devil could ruin him. That inner conflict, between desire and conscience, is what makes this storyline so compelling. Will Kane give in to temptation, or will he find the strength to resist Victor's manipulation? The drama also ties into one of Y&R's most legendary feuds, Victor versus Jack. Fans have watched this rivalry span decades, with both men refusing to back down no matter the cost. Kane's involvement adds a new layer of complexity. Instead of Victor targeting Jubilee directly, he would be using Kane as his weapon, making it harder for Jack to fight back. This wouldn't just be a business war, Meanwhile, Lily Winters could play a crucial role. She knows Kane better than anyone and would likely see through his actions before others do. If Kane goes after Jubilee, Lily would be horrified, not only because of what it means for the Abbotts but also because it proves Kane hasn't changed. Lily has fought hard to build her independence and credibility, and seeing Kane dragged back into manipulation could force her to sever ties with him permanently. This could also put her at odds with Victor, something that would put Lily in dangerous waters. Devon too would have a strong reaction. He has always been skeptical of Kane's ability to truly reform, and if Kane betrays the Abbotts, Devon would likely confront him head-on. That confrontation could be explosive, reopening old wounds and sparking family drama that stretches far beyond Jubilee. Kane could find himself completely isolated, no family, no friends, and no allies except for Victor, who would discard him the moment he no longer proves useful. The unpredictability of this plotline is what excites fans most. There are several possible outcomes, each more dramatic than the last. Kane could go through with Victor's plan, take a shot at Jubilee, and succeed, causing chaos in the Abbott family. Or he could fail spectacularly, with Victor abandoning him and the Abbotts closing ranks to destroy him. Another possibility is that Kane could flip the script, pretending to side with Victor only to double-cross him in the end, shocking everyone by choosing redemption over destruction. This twist would not only redeem Kane but also give Jack an unlikely ally against Victor, setting the stage for even bigger battles. Fans on social media would erupt with speculation over whether Kane deserves another chance at redemption or if this proves once and for all that he cannot change. Kane has always been a polarizing character. Some fans root for his redemption arc, while others believe his track record proves he is doomed to repeat the same mistakes. This storyline, tied directly into the Newman-Abbott feud, gives Kane the biggest opportunity in years to either sink or swim. As the drama builds, one thing is clear: Victor is setting the chessboard, and Kane is caught in his game. The stakes are higher than ever. Jubilee's survival, Kane's future, and the balance of power in Genoa City all hang in the balance. Will Kane betray the Abbotts to save himself, or will he finally break free from the cycle of manipulation and stand on his own? In Genoa City, the truth always comes out, and betrayal never goes unpunished. Kane's next move could redefine not just his future, but the entire landscape of the young and the restless. Fans will be watching every second, waiting for the inevitable explosion when Victor's ruthless scheme collides with Kane's fragile desire for redemption. One wrong move, and Kane could lose everything forever. Astonished face Victor pulls the strings. Kane's risky Jubilee target has fans bracing for chaos on Y&R. The Young and the Restless has long been known for its explosive twists, legendary rivalries, and shocking betrayals, and the latest spoilers hint that the canvas in Genoa City is about to be shaken in a way fans never saw coming. At the center of the storm stands Victor Newman, the eternal mastermind who always seems to stay 3 steps ahead of his enemies, and Kane Ashby, the complicated and often controversial character who can never quite escape his past mistakes. Together, This unlikely pairing could set off a chain reaction of chaos that leaves Jabot hanging in the balance and fans bracing for fallout that could change the fabric of the show forever. Kane has always been a character defined by his choices, both good and bad. His attempts at redemption often collide with his knack for deception, leaving him on unstable ground with his family, his friends, and his place in Genoa City. For years, Kane has wanted to be respected as a businessman, a father, and a man capable of growth, but temptations have always dragged him back into the world of manipulation. Now, with Victor dangling a dangerous opportunity in front of him, Kane may find himself at the crossroads of his most consequential decision yet: betray the Abbots by targeting Jabot, or risk losing everything he has been trying to rebuild. Victor Newman's obsession with the Abbott family legacy has been a cornerstone of Y&R for decades. His feud with Jack Abbott is one of the most iconic in daytime history, filled with battles over companies, family honor, and personal vendettas. While Jack has fought to preserve Jabot as the heart of his family's legacy, Victor has always relished in tearing it down, proving time and again that no matter how strong the Abbotts are, Newman will always loom larger. This time, Victor has no need to strike directly. Instead, he uses his greatest strength, manipulation. He knows Kane is vulnerable, desperate to matter, and still hungry for a seat at the table of Genoa City's elite. That makes him the perfect pawn, a man Victor can mold, push, and ultimately discard when the game is over. For Kane, the lure of power and influence is intoxicating. He has struggled to find solid footing since his marriage to Lily fell apart, his scandals ruined his reputation, and his once promising future slipped through his fingers. Aligning with Victor offers him a shortcut back into relevance, a chance to matter again, but it comes at the highest cost. Going after Jabot means betraying people he has shared history with, people who once gave him chances even when he didn't deserve them. It means crossing Jack Abbott, something few in Genoa City ever do without consequences. It also means facing the wrath of Kyle, Ashley, Billy, and Diane, all of whom will rally to protect their family's company from an outsider like Kane. The more Kane contemplates Victor's offer, the more he risks spiraling into the very habits that destroyed him before. What makes this potential storyline so gripping is the layered drama it brings. On one level, it's a business war, with Victor pulling strings to destabilize Jabot through Kane. On another, it's deeply personal, because Kane's actions would reopen old wounds and redefine his relationships. Lily Winters, who has tried countless times to support and forgive Kane, would be devastated to see him entangled in Victor's schemes. Devon Hamilton, never fully trusting Kane, would seize on this as proof that Kane cannot change, fueling family tensions that could ripple out to affect Chancellor Winters. Jack, always the proud protector of Jabot, would be furious, not just at Victor, but at Kane for being weak enough to fall under Newman's thumb. Fans of Y&R know that Victor never loses, at least not permanently. Even when his schemes collapse, he always finds a way to twist the outcome in his favor. That makes Kane's position all the more precarious. If Kane succeeds in undermining Jabot, he gains power, but he will forever be seen as Victor's puppet, sacrificing his independence for Newman's scraps. If he fails, Victor will abandon him without hesitation, leaving Kane worse off than ever, isolated, disgraced, and possibly even facing retaliation from the Abbotts. It's a lose-lose situation for Kane, and yet his desperation may drive him to take the gamble anyway. The ripple effects of this storyline could stretch across Genoa City in shocking ways. Imagine Billy Abbott catching wind of Kane's involvement and spiraling into paranoia and revenge mode, reigniting his own history of reckless behavior. Imagine Kyle clashing with Kane in a bitter confrontation, vowing to protect his family's legacy at all costs. Diane, always eager to prove herself as the protector of Jabot, could use Kane's betrayal as fuel to cement her place in the Abbott family hierarchy. Ashley might seize the chaos as proof that Jack's leadership has failed, pushing for her own control. And through it all, Victor would be sitting back, watching the Abbotts tear themselves apart while Kane does his dirty work. The fan reaction to this twist would be explosive. Kane has long been a polarizing figure. Some fans sympathize with his struggle to change, rooting for him to finally find redemption, while others believe he is incapable of growth and destined to repeat his mistakes. Victor's involvement raises the stakes, making this not just about Kane's personal journey but about the broader war between Newman and Abbott. Social media would light up with debates about whether Kane deserves another chance, whether Victor has gone too far, and whether Jabot can survive yet another assault from Newman Enterprises. The unpredictability of the storyline is what makes it so thrilling. Will Kane go through with Victor's orders, striking at Jabot and cementing himself as a villain in the eyes of Genoa City? Will he back out at the last second, choosing conscience over ambition, and perhaps even turning the tables on Victor by exposing his plan? Could Kane shock everyone by pretending to align with Victor only to use the opportunity to earn redemption by warning Jack and the Abbotts of the scheme? Each path offers its own web of drama, betrayal, and confrontation, keeping fans guessing with every episode. Ultimately, this storyline is about more than just Jabot. It's about legacy, identity, and the choices that define a man's future. For Victor, it's about proving yet again that no one can outmaneuver him. For Jack, it's about defending his family's honor. And for Kane, it's about whether he will finally rise above his past or sink into the same patterns that have haunted him for years. The stakes could not be higher, and as the pieces move across the board, fans are bracing for the chaos that will inevitably erupt. In Genoa City, power is never permanent, loyalty is always tested, and the truth has a way of surfacing no matter how deeply it's buried. Victor pulling Kane's strings may create short-term chaos, but in the end, someone will pay the price, and it might just be Kane himself. The coming weeks could redefine the future of Jabot, alter Victor's standing as the ultimate manipulator, and determine once and for all whether Kane Ashby has what it takes to survive in a world where betrayal is currency. Buckle up, because Y&R is about to deliver a storm of drama that fans won't soon forget. Kane Ashby works with Victor Newman. The Young and the Restless is never short on explosive twists, and the latest buzz-shaking Genoa City is a storyline that fans never imagined would happen, Kane Ashby working side by side with Victor Newman. This pairing is shocking not only because of their different backgrounds and histories but also because of the sheer chaos it promises to unleash on everyone connected to them. For decades, Victor Newman has remained the ultimate puppet master of Genoa City, always manipulating people and circumstances to ensure his dominance in both business and family matters. Kane Ashby, on the other hand, has been a character defined by his constant struggle between redemption and relapse into scheming. Putting these two together sets the stage for a storyline rich with betrayal, manipulation, and high-stakes drama that could alter the balance of power in Genoa City forever. Kane Ashby has always wanted to matter. His history is riddled with lies, from faking his identity to manipulating situations to suit his needs. Over time, he tried to shed his darker tendencies, seeking to rebuild his reputation as a good father, a loyal partner, and a respectable businessman. But temptations and insecurities have always dragged him back down. Kane is a man who craves acceptance and power, someone who is desperate to prove that he belongs among Genoa City's elite families. That's exactly what makes him so vulnerable to Victor's influence. Victor has an uncanny ability to spot weakness and exploit it, and with Kane, the weaknesses are abundant: his broken marriage to Lily, his complicated history with Devon, his fractured reputation, and his endless desire to feel important. For Victor, bringing Kane into his orbit is more than just about business, it's about strategy. Victor has always had one eye on Jabot, Jack Abbott, and the Abbott family legacy. Every time Jabot begins to find its footing, Victor looks for cracks to exploit, and right now, there are plenty. Jack is stretched thin trying to juggle both family drama and business. Billy is spiraling as usual, Ashley is constantly at odds with her siblings, and Diane is still working to secure her place. Jabot is vulnerable, and Victor knows that hitting them now could cause maximum damage. Using Kane as his weapon allows Victor to destabilize Jabot without getting his own hands dirty. He can pull Kane's strings, whisper promises of power in his ear, and watch as Kane does the heavy lifting of betrayal. For Kane, this is the opportunity of a lifetime and the risk of self-destruction rolled into one. Working with Victor gives him a chance to claw his way back to relevance, to finally be seen as someone powerful instead of a man constantly on the outside looking in. But aligning with Victor means sacrificing what little credibility he has left. If word gets out that Kane is helping Victor, he will be viewed as a traitor by the Abbotts, an enemy by his own family, and a lost cause by Lily and Devon. Kane risks not just his reputation but his relationships with the people he has tried so desperately to rebuild bridges with. The irony is that Victor doesn't need Kane's loyalty, he only needs Kane's desperation. And once Kane has served his purpose, Victor will discard him like every other pawn who has come before. The potential fallout of this partnership is enormous. Jack Abbott will be blindsided and furious to learn that Kane has aligned himself with Victor. For Jack, this is not just a business betrayal but a personal one. He's given Kane chances before, and seeing Kane side with his greatest rival would cut deeply. Billy would likely explode in anger, targeting Kane with reckless revenge schemes. Kyle could confront Kane directly, warning him that no one takes on the Abbotts and walks away unscathed. Diane would seize the opportunity to prove her loyalty to the Abbott family by rallying against Kane and Victor, further solidifying her standing in Jack's eyes. Ashley might use the chaos as an excuse to argue for new leadership at Jubilee, pointing to Jack's inability to keep enemies like Victor from infiltrating their business. On the other side of the storyline, Lily Winters would be devastated. She has tried for years to see the best in Kane, but aligning himself with Victor would prove that he is incapable of true change. This could be the final straw that severs their bond forever, ensuring that Kane loses her trust once and for all. Devon Hamilton would also have strong words for Kane, reaffirming his long-held suspicion that Kane can never be trusted. The drama also opens up intriguing possibilities. Could Kane play Victor at his own game, pretending to work with him only to betray him later? Could Kane use this opportunity to finally redeem himself by warning Jack and exposing Victor's scheme from the inside? Or will Kane fully embrace the dark side, becoming Victor's loyal henchman and going all in on destroying Jubilee? Each direction offers endless possibilities for explosive confrontations, shocking betrayals, and emotional fallout. Fans would be glued to their screens, debating whether Kane deserves redemption or if he is truly beyond saving. This storyline also breathes new life into the classic Victor versus Jack rivalry. By inserting Kane into the middle, the writers are creating a fresh spin on an old battle. Instead of Victor and Jack going head-to-head directly, Kane becomes the wild card, his actions dictating how far the feud escalates. This raises the stakes, because Kane is unpredictable, he could either bring Victor's plan to fruition or sabotage it entirely. Either way, the chaos will be intense, and the fallout will ripple across Genoa City. Fans of The Young and the Restless thrive on this kind of unpredictable drama. Victor is at his best when he's scheming, pulling strings, and manipulating others into doing his bidding. Kane is at his most compelling when he is torn between his desire to be good and his weakness for shortcuts and power. Putting these two together is storytelling gold. It forces Kane to confront his darkest tendencies, it forces the Abbotts to defend their legacy, and it forces Lily and Devon to finally decide whether they believe Kane is redeemable or not. It also reminds everyone in Genoa City of a timeless truth: when Victor Newman is involved, no one is safe. The coming weeks promise to deliver explosive confrontations, shocking revelations, and game-changing decisions. Kane working with Victor could either resurrect him as a powerhouse player in Genoa City or destroy him completely. For Victor, it's just another day of pulling strings, but for Kane, it's the most dangerous gamble of his life. In a city where betrayal is currency and loyalty is always tested, Kane's decision to side with Victor Newman may change everything. The only question is, when the dust settles, will Kane be left standing tall, or crushed beneath the weight of Victor's ruthless game?